balita at all-time favorite music hits. Sa lungkot at ligaya, kami pa rin ang inyong kasama. We're the place where you truly belong. Mula sa TVH Group of Networks, ito ang inyong himpilan. Ito ang inyong tahanan. Number 1 sa Mega Manila. This is koolNews at 6.
Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This is koolNews at 6. My name is Caro, and here are the top headlines for this evening. Give me one moment. Let's begin with our first headline as the Armed Forces of the Philippines on Saturday reiterated its pledge of loyalty to flag and country amid speculations of a rift within its ranks following a presidential order removing Vice President Sara Duterte from the National Security Council. The military remains a united and professional organization, loyal to the flag, the Constitution, and the Filipino people, said AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla. It strictly adheres to the chain of command and is committed to serving impartially in full compliance with the law and democratic processes, Padilla told Inquirer in a Fiber message. Her remarks were in response to statements from opposition figures identified with the Makayaban bloc that Mr. Marcos' move may signal fears of a possible rift within the military. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signed Executive Order No. 81 since 2024 on December 30, 2024, removing the Vice President and former Presidents from the NSC, which advises the President on national security matters. The order was made public only on Friday. The Vice President has so far remained mum over the issue. On Saturday, the Office of the Vice President issued a brief statement when asked for this comment. The Vice President is already aware of the said matter. We will keep you posted. Aside from the Vice President, former presidents, including her father Rodrigo Duterte and her family's ally Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, were among those removed from the NSC. The Inquirer had reached out to Arroyo's camp for comment but has yet to hear back as of Friday. National Security Advisor Eduardo Ano earlier said reconstituting the NSC was a necessary move to enhance the formulation of policies affecting national security. He also noted that previous chief executives, including the president's father, as well as Corazon Aquino, Vital V. Ramos, and even Arroyo herself, have reorganized the NSC composition. Canlan volcano on Negros Island emitted ash and 22 volcanic earthquakes were recorded on Saturday, January 4. The Philippines Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or shortened as term PhilVox, reported. In its Saturday bulletin, PhilVox said the ash emission lasted 111 minutes, sending voluminous plumes 500 meters high. Meanwhile, the volcanic earthquakes lasted between 4 and 111 minutes. PhilVox added that the volcano produced an average of 3,469 tons of sulfur dioxide per day as of January 4. Canlan volcano remains under alert level 3, which indicates intensified magmatic unrest. With this, flying any aircraft is still prohibited near the volcano. PhilVox warned that potential hazards include explosive eruptions, lava flows, ashfall, plastic density currents, rockfalls, and lahars during heavy rains. Evacuation within the 6-kilometer radius from the volcano's summit is also recommended. Saturday marked the fourth consecutive day of more than 20 recorded earthquakes near the volcano. PhilVox recorded 27 volcanic tremors on Friday. As we move into the service advisories, some parts of Quezon City will have temporary water service interruptions next week due to maintenance work by Maynilad. In an advisory, Maynilad said these areas will lose water connection on the following dates to give way to pressure tests that will be conducted by the personnel. So here are the following locations that will have its maintenance. From January 6 to 7, from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., it will be from Barangay Bagbag and San Bartolome. For January 7 to 8, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. will be Barangay San Bartolome. For January 8 to 9, from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. will be from Barangay San Gandan and Talipapa. January 9 to 10, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. will be Barangay Bahay Toro and Tandang Sora. And for January 10 to 11, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. will be Barangay Veterans Village. And for January 11 to 12, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. will be Barangay Hotok. Maynilad advised its customers to store water before the scheduled interruption. Once the water service returns, customers must let the water run until it becomes clear. Meanwhile, regarding the restructuring of or reorganization of the National Security Council, it reveals a worsening dispute between ruling political families. Two progressive groups said Sunday. In a statement, former Bayamuna Representative Nari Manares said President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s decision to reorganize the NSC may not be about national security. The removal of Vice President Sara Duterte and former presidents from the NSC clearly shows the widening rift between the Marcos and Duterte fractions. This is not just about national security, this is about political survival, Manares said. He said in Filipino, these steps show the real face of Philippine politics, a big dispute for power between dynasties while the Filipino people suffer in poverty. Prices of electricity, fuel, water, and even SSS pensions have increased, but the budget for social services was brought down, but the Marcoses and the Dutertes do not care. Meanwhile, Bagong Alyansang Makabayan or Bayan President Ronaldo Reyes Jr. questioned if the political tension between the Marcos and Duterte camps also signals a rift within the military establishments, as some officials may support a particular personality. The removal of the Vice President and former presidents as members of the National Security Council reflects the widening rift and intensifying contradictions between the Marcos and Duterte fractions as the country heads into the midterm elections. Reyes said. The Vice President and former President Rodrigo Duterte and their ally, former President Rodrigo Macapagal Arroyo, are known political opponents of the President. The removal may also signal fears of a possible rift within the military establishment, he added. While former President Duterte called the Aprio Award a piece of paper that can be thrown into the trash bin, Marcos has maintained that the victory is important. Still, both Colmenares and Reyes believe no significant change will be felt from the changes at the NSC. Whoever sits in the NSC, the Filipino people cannot expect any real change as the body is sworn to defend the rotten status quo against the interests of the Filipino people. Things are not going to change with whichever politician sits on the council. The country's security framework will remain aligned with imperialist interests. Human rights violations will also continue, Reyes said. Coleman said the NSC is just an instrument of the ruling class to protect their interests. These contradictions expose the bankruptcy of elite politics. The Filipino people must take it upon themselves to struggle for genuine political change that is not beholden to any of these political fractions. This is koolNews at 6 as we will return with more news headlines right here after this break.
This program was brought to you by Musicultura Heritage Foundation Center, a museum of all fan-made multimedia and Philippine history. Visit us today at Greenbelt, Makati City from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Musicultura, a non-profit joint venture project of Able Media and TVH Group of Networks Incorporated. Delsat TV. Enjoy SD and high-definition channels when you subscribe to Delsat TV. Pilsen Knocks Out, the air cleaning paint. Jor Ace Supermarket, ang budget-friendly supermarket ng Pilipinas. Now in 6,900 locations around the Philippines and Southeast Asia. Katip's Hot Dog. Amoy na amoy ang sarap. Kids can tell. And TVH, the home of entertainment. Tutok na sa TVH. Available in high definition via Delsat TV. Bisitahin ang youtube.com/@TVH Network PH para sa inyong paboritong mga highlights at live shows. Deeply thoughtful and heartful tunes? Cool FM is here for you. Love knows no boundaries on Mamon's Music Hangout. Thursdays, 9:30 p.m. Enjoy your Sunday mood swings with easy jazz. Sundays, 12 p.m.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.
Your favorite old love songs straight from the heart. Dream Cars, Soulmate Sonata. Saturdays, 2 p.m.
Things are meant to be.
And go back in time through the night on the classic hits. The classic hits. Weeknights daily. All these and more on Cool FM. This is your station. This is home. Number 1 sa Mega Manila.
One little, two little, three na insekto. 4 little, 5 little, 6 na insekto. 7 little, 8.
Para bang laro-laro lang ang ginagawa ng insect killer mo? Ang Baygon Shield Protector Multi-Insect Killer, seryoso. Dahil zero tolerance ito, hindi lang sa 8, kundi sa
11 types ng bugs!
Baygon Shield Protector Multi-Insect Killer. Zero tolerance sa mga insekto. Kills 11 types of bugs.
Aray! Ng katawan buong araw at work? No worries! Just patch Salon Pass para maghatid ng direct ingredient penetration ang mabilisan within 30 minutes at ang matagalang relief na dumidikit hanggang 8 oras. Patch, shoulder, neck, back, body pain. Patch, Salon Pass.
Methylsalicylate dimethyltocopherol acetate DL-CAM4 is a generic name of Salon Pass. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Abante Vista Party List number 35 Number 35 Vista Party List.
Good morning, Miss Grace. Tell me about yourself.
Hello po. Graduate po ko siya bungi. Major in bungi. Magna cum bungi. Ako po ay very bungi worker. And I think I can be a great bungi to this company.
Tulad ka ba ni Grace na mas pansin ang bungi kaysa sa credentials?
Miss Bungi, Grace, sa ngayon wala kaming opening. We'll get back to you na lang, ha?
Kung ikaw rin ay may bungi prob sa job hunting, maaari kang mabigyan ng Polydent ng libreng pustiso sa Oplan Balikngiti program. Go to polydentbalikngiti.com now.
About ponytail dents, tangles, and frizz? Use Sunsilk Smooth and Manageable every day for 5 times smoother, fragrant hair versus non-conditioning shampoo. Para
Gandang lugar, ready lahat tayo. Sunsilk.
madalas mapasok kapag niluluto para sa pamilya. Basta may paso o burn, United Home Burn Ointment agad.
Unilab yan.
Benzocaine, boric acid, and eucalyptus is the generic name of United Home Burn. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Eto na ang dagdag puhunan para sa mga magsasaka, mangingisda at agrarian reform beneficiaries. Hatid ng Land Bank ang AgriSenso Plus. Ang murang pautang na may libreng life insurance at training para sa iyong kabuhayan. Simple, abot kaya, kumpleto at maasahan sa pangangailangang pangkabuhayan. Mag-apply na sa pinakamalapit na Land Bank branch o tumawag sa 0284057000. Land Bank AgriSenso Plus. Kasama mo sa magandang bukas. Your future powered by Land Bank. Land Bank is regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and a member of PDIC and BankNet.
Cafe 5 in 1 plus 1 coffee mix. Ito ang kape na very healthy at complete. Puro ang sangkap, tunay na may herbal ang kape. Basta Cafe, suave, suave, suave.
Ang Mark Cafe, di lang kape. Ito ang coffee na may herbal pre, na pampa-enhance ng isipan, pampalakas ng katawan. Masarap inumin araw-arawin dahil may panax, ginseng, agaricus, blazay, muril, mushroom at syempre spirulina. Puro ang sangkap talagang mabisa at ito ay masustansya. Di lang to swabeng higupin, maganda din sa immune system.
Mark Cafe 5-in-1 plus 1 coffee mix. Ito ang kape na very healthy at complete. Puro ang sangkap, tunay na may herbal ang kape. Basta Mark Cafe, suave, suave, suave. Mark Cafe 5-in-1 plus 1 coffee mix. Suave.
Mark Cafe 5-in-1 plus 1 coffee mix. Mabibili na sa inyong mga suking tindahan, drugstores at supermarket sa inyong lugar.
Extra strong? Andito na ang Leon Extra Strong Beer. Bangis ng dating, bangis ng sarap, bangis ng kagat, at 7% ABV. This is Gerald Anderson for Leon Extra Strong Beer. Tikman ang bangis ng Leon. Bangis ng presyo, 47 pesos SRP for 500 ml at 95 pesos SRP for 1 liter. Drink responsibly.
Holiday reminder from GCash. Presyong ukay pero branded and brand new? Baka fake online store yan. 90% off ang item pero bayad agad? Baka fake seller yan. Send pamasko to unknown number? Baka social engineering scam yan. Mag-Send Money Protect Scam Insurance for extra protection against scams kaysa hindi insured. Terms and conditions apply. Lahat merry pag G-Safe tayo. Send Money Protect Scam Insurance is powered by Chubb, supervised by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas.
Welcome back to Cool News at 6. Let's continue with our headlines. As we head over to international headlines, South Korea in 2024 saw 242,334 babies born, marking the first increase in the annual figure since 2015 as the country struggles to improve its plummeting birth rate that is among the worst in the world. The official figure for childbirths rose by 7,295 from 235,039 in 2023, a 3.1% increase according to the Ministry of the Interior and Safety. The country also saw 360,757 deaths in the year, resulting in the overall population shrinking for a fifth straight year since 2020. South Korea's population stands at 51,217.22 according to the latest tally by the ministry. Despite the ongoing population decrease, the annual increase in childbirth sparks hope for a turnaround in the country's total fertility rate, referring to the total number of births a woman is expected to give in her timeline. The total fertility rate for Korea has been trending downward since marking 1.48 in 2000, dipping below the 141st the first time in 2018 and marking a record low 0.72 in 2023. The government has been rolling out series of measures in a bid to battle this sluggish birth rate, ranging from expanding financial incentives for childbirths and state-run childcare services to more benefits for parents with multiple children. One of the new policies implemented this year is an increase to the upper limit on parental leave payments to 2.5 million Korean won or $1,700 a month, up from the previous 1.5 million. While the rebound in childbirths offers a glimpse of hope in terms of the population decline, the country continued to get older. The average age for Koreans in 2024 was 45.3 years old, up from average age of 44.8 the previous year. Some 17% of Koreans were in their 50s, followed by 15.37% in their 60s, 15.08% in their 40s, 12.94% in their 70s, 12.93% in their 30s, 11.63% in their 20s, 9.02% aged 10 to 19, and 6.30% aged under 10. The government last month said the country has formally become a silver-aged society, which the United Nations defines as a country where more than 20% of the population is aged 65 or older. As of December, the percentage of senior citizens in the country marked exactly 20%. The average age of Koreans has been climbing rapidly for years, surpassing 40 years old in 2014. According to a Statistics Korea report in October, the average for Koreans is expected to pass 50 in 2035 and 55 in 2049. Russia, meanwhile, has lost up to a battalion of North Korean soldiers over the past 2 days in its western cross-border region in the ongoing war against Ukraine, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said. Zelensky made the claim citing the report he received from his military, saying that the Russian army lost up to a battalion of infantry North Korean soldiers and Russian paratroopers today and yesterday, Ukrainian media RBC reported Saturday. Zelensky's latest remark came after South Korea's spy agency confirmed Ukraine's capture of an injured North Korean soldier who later died in the first reported instance of its kind. Some 11,000 North Korean troops have been sent to Russia so far, with signs of preparations for additional deployment of troops and military equipment, according to South Korean officials. Zelensky said earlier that North Korea has suffered more than 3,000 casualties in the Kursk region. Also tonight, evacuations were underway in Ethiopia Saturday after a series of earthquakes, the strongest of which, a 5.8 magnitude jolt, rocked the remote north of the Horn of Africa nation. The quakes were centered on the largely rural Afar, Oromia, and Amhara regions after months of intense seismic activity. No casualties have been reported so far. Ethiopia's government communication service has said around 80,000 people were living in the affected regions, and the most vulnerable were being moved to temporary shelters. The earthquakes are increasing in terms of magnitude and recurrence, it said in a statement, adding that experts have been dispatched to assess the damage. The Ethiopian Disaster Risk Management Commission said 20,573 people had been evacuated to safer areas in Afar and Oromia from a tally of over 51,000 vulnerable people. Plans were underway to move more than 8,000 people in Oromia in the coming days, the agency said in a statement. The latest shallow 4.7 magnitude quake hit just before 12:40 p.m. or 9:40 GMT, about 33 kilometers north of Medehara town in Oromia, according to the European Mediterranean Seismological Center. The earthquakes have damaged houses and threatened to trigger a volcanic eruption of the previously dormant Mount Dofan near Seganto in the northeast of our region. The crater has stopped releasing plumes of smoke, but nearby residents have left their homes in panic. Earthquakes are common in Ethiopia due to its location along the Great Rift Valley, one of the world's most seismically active areas. Experts have said the tremors and eruptions are being caused by the expansion of tectonic plates under the Great Rift Valley. And thousands of South Korean protesters braved a snowstorm Sunday over suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol, who was still resisting arrest over a failed martial law bid less than 48 hours before the warrant expires. Yoon plunged the country into political chaos last month with the bungled martial law declaration and has since holed up in the presidential residence surrounded by hundreds of royal security officers resisting arrest efforts. On Saturday, thousands descended on his residence and major roads in Seoul a day after a failed arrest attempt, with one camp demanding Yoon's arrest while the other calling for his impeachment to be declared invalid. Pro-Yoon supporters massed again in front of his home Sunday despite bitter snow conditions hammering the capital overnight that left it under a white blanket, while an anti-Yoon rally was slated for 2 p.m. local time. or 5 a.m. GMT. Snow is nothing for me. They can bring all the snow and we'll still be here, said anti-union protester Lee Jin-ah, who is the age of 28, who had previously worked at a coffee shop. I quit my job to come to protect our country and democracy, she said, adding that she had camped outside the residence overnight. Park Yong-chul, in his 70s, said the snowstorm wouldn't deter him from showing up to back Yoon before the war experts at midnight on Monday. I went through war and minus 20 degrees in a snow defied the commies. This snow is nothing. Our war is happening again, he told AFP. The rallies in the cold come as Yoon this week said he was watching protests in support of his rule on a YouTube livestream, pledging to fight those trying to question his short-lived power grab. Yoon faces criminal charges of insurrection, one of a few crimes not subject to presidential immunity, meaning he could be sentenced to prison or, at worst, the death penalty. If the warrant is executed, Yoon would become the first sitting South Korean president to be arrested. And finally, let's get into the showbiz. Maris Raquel broke her social media break to promote her film Sunshine, which is part of the 36th Palm Springs International Film Festival following weeks of hiatus due to a cheating controversy. In an Instagram story on Saturday, January 4, Raquel shared the movie's poster with the list of its screening at the International Festival. She captioned the post, "Hello, Palm Springs International Film Festival, get your tickets now." Directed by Antoinette Jadaon, Sunshine centers on a young gymnast who is played by Raquel, who discovers she is pregnant ahead of her tryouts for the national team. Facing a big dilemma, she looks for a way to abort the pregnancy. The movie also stars Anika Ko, Jenica Garcia, Elijah Canles, Mariel Soriano, and Zariel Manabat. It made its full premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival 2024 last September. Sunshine was also nominated for Best Youth Film at the 2024 Asia Pacific Screen Awards, the region's highest accolade in film. In October, Jadaon told reporters that Sunshine would be submitted to international film festivals first before it premieres in Philippine cinemas. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now less than 30 seconds before 6:30 p.m. and that is it for koolNews at 6. As always, if you have any news suggestions or feedback you'd like to share, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And join us for more news headlines with koolNews Primetime later at 10:30 p.m. after Poppin' Wrapping Sundays. Until then, my name is Cairo. Good evening.